Hey guys, Chris here. I want to do a video today about fitting in and how this ties into enmeshment in terms of fitting in with society, with various friend groups and all these things. If you sort of have this feeling that you never really fit in, or you feel that you're different and you're constantly going through different friends, this is all normal, and the society in a way is kind of set up to feel, that you're different. And we tie this to enmeshment. So enmeshing with a parent, so you forever are bonded to a parent and kind of lose each other in each other's way and don't have any clear boundaries. And this, if people are not enmeshed with their parents, they can be enmeshed with other things, with the government, with various friend groups, or trying to find their tribe, trying to find some community or something to be part of. And enmeshment can occur there, maybe more strongly for those who are enmeshed with their parents, but those who are perhaps fighting back, particularly what we sort of seen in the COVID outbreak was a division of different types of people who were maybe enmeshing with the government and following what they said, and other people who were somewhat breaking free of that. But even to rebel against something, and have a very energetic reaction to something is a sign of perhaps not fully individuating. So if you don't individuate from your parents, you can be throwing a strop or throwing a tantrum when you don't get your way or wanting something to be different, which is part of being a child. You don't always want that. And as you begin to unenmesh with whether it's your family, you'll start to unenmesh with different things in the world. And talking about fitting in, and I kind of felt in my whole life that I've never really fitted in, although temporarily fitted in a certain community group, particularly something if I was learning a lot, if I was going through some sort of self-improvement, or a group where it's about spiritual growth. For 6 months, a year, I fully felt part of that, and then that eventually would end. And you're like, where do I fit in? And even if I'm a more spiritual person, you're kind of thinking, oh, well, I don't feel still like I fit in to this group. And the reality is that, you're not really supposed to fit in, because society and the structure of the world is a very sort of codependent and meshing society. Which perhaps makes you feel trapped, in the rat race, that you can never really be fulfilled. You'll always need more money, you'll always need this, you'll always need that. And to unenmesh is to, fully trust yourself, and whether you can connect with something bigger from a spiritual point of view within yourself, and more or less feel connected, and that you fit in with something greater. So if you're around a group of people and you're feeling like I don't fit in, it's to be okay not fitting in, because sometimes it's like, who would want to fit in? You see how crazy things are in the world, and you think, do I really want to fit in? And then where this comes in with enmeshment is, because you want to bond back with that parent. And people from enmeshment will go through this, because when you're in school, when you're going through uncomfortable things through life, you then want to go back to the parent and enmesh with the parent. And part of enmeshment is that the parent will be saying to you, oh, if you're a guy, or the girls are like that, they're always going to reject you, or you kind of have these self-esteem issues which maybe come from the parent as well. And then if you're there and you're a guy and you enmesh with your mum, and you just, you stay at home and you look after your mum, rather than you go out there in the world and you go to live your life, because perhaps the mother or the parent, the enmeshed parent, is reflecting back to you like, oh, the world is like this, don't worry, it's a horrible place, but you can stay here and enmesh with me. But and people who are not enmeshed with parents, they can enmesh with the government, they can enmesh with this, they can enmesh with that. I see that all the time. They can have the same friends for ages and sort of lose themselves in a group of friends, or just find a person, a life partner, and just enmesh with them. Because there should be something greater, you should feel part of something greater. That is the joy of enmeshment. And you know, the sensitivity, being a really sensitive empath, you know, to be, you know, obviously to guard your energy, but to feel that you're part of something greater. So if you don't feel like you fit in and you feel, oh, I don't fit into this group, I don't fit into that group, you know, even create your own community, which I feel like sometimes creating your own community and then feeling you don't even fit into that. But at the end of the day, it's what, you know, what is the purpose of that? What are you connecting on? You know, for me, I connect on people with experiences with this or that. If you're looking for the emotional support and spiritual support and all these different things, you know, you're not necessarily you're gonna find that somewhere else. And you can always come back to yourself and connect with yourself, and know that there are other people out there who are similar to you. They may just not be able to always be accessible, because sometimes we feel like that. You might feel like you don't fit in, and you just start chatting to one person who gets you, and you're like, oh, finally, yeah, I fit in. But if you're craving that, really, again, it can be a sign of wanting to re-enmesh. And a sign of enmeshment and falling for someone very quickly is when you enmesh with someone, is, you know, you fall for someone very quickly, and it's like the rest of your world then kind of falls apart. So you could be really happy in your job and this and that, but you tend to fall for someone, and then maybe it ends with that person, or that person doesn't feel the same way. Then everything else in your life feels terrible again, because that is bringing back the enmeshment wounds. The enmeshment wounds being, you know, the world cannot give me what I want, so I'm going to just enmesh with my parent instead. And if you're with this and you're going beyond your family of origin, you know, what your family, where you come from, is, you know, you're not really meant to fit in. You're supposed to go out and, you know, be your own person. If you're a guy, your own man, and find other people out there in the world who are like you, and just have fun in the world and do what it is that you want to do, rather than enmeshing and being there to save your parent. So I hope you enjoyed that video, everyone. And yeah, just about fitting in. If you feel like that, I thought it would be good to share that and what I've understood with enmeshment. And it can be very freeing. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll see you again soon.